Okay, folks, good morning. So I glued all these figures on the stand yesterday. I don't think I'm going to put magnets on all of them just yet. We are going to go ahead and prime them though, using Vallejo primer. And of all the things that Vallejo primer does well, I think using this for figures is probably the best thing. Because it does pretty much go everywhere you want it to go. And it's self-leveling, etc. All right. Now, some of this desert gear for the Germans, for instance, is different than their European version. In particular, the little ammo pouches they have for the rifles. They have these little ammo pouches that the stripper clips actually go into, and I do mean clips, not magazines. In Europe, they're normally black leather, and for the Africa Corps, they're brown. So we'll be doing that. Not really worried about it being super thick on them. I just want everything covered so that the other paint that I'll put on there will stick to it well. So that's what a guy in the African Corps has that has an MP40 instead of an MP41 looks like. Only some machine gunner guys that I used to have was the Airfix ones, which is a great figure. But He's got the wrong weapon. I mean, those are really good figures. I'd say those figures are better than these. These have almost too much facial detail on them. We'll see how we get on with that. But the Airfix figures, at least the ones I've painted, they have some of the. I mean, they're some of the nicest figures I've ever painted in any scale. I was really quite surprised how well they painted up. I just kind of like just gave them a pass. I'm like, yeah, those are toy soldiers I've had since the early 1980s, 80, 81, something like that. Let's paint a Caesar guy up. Let's see how he does. This paint's not going on here really well. I might have to wash these guys a second time. Well, let's just finish with one and just see where we go from there. It was weird, like it wasn't covering well, and then it was. These are more resistant to the Dawn dish soap than others. Good morning. Had to walk a dog. We're looking after this morning, so arriving a bit later. Oh, that's okay. You didn't miss anything. I just started. I had to put the finishing touches. I had to go to bed and put the finishing touches on the next video uploaded. for my travels. I still have a couple more to do. I did this one a little bit out of order. I figured this was a more reasonable one. The look, the look out, the lookouter of dogs. So if your daughter wasn't living with you, I know you were talking about getting the dogs for the daughter. If your daughter wasn't living with you, would you still be doing the whole dog gig? My daughter's rooming in the house in Spain with a roommate and this older lady. I think she's only like 10 years older than me, but anyhow, they have a little terrier, and my daughter's going to enjoy that. I don't know that I'd want to live in a house with a little dog, but it's a cute little dog. I didn't hear it bark once, which is unusual for a small animal. I mean, it's a really small dog. You might watch the remainder of the Madrid tour later today. Well, it has a lot more narration than the one I just dropped. The one I just dropped basically has no narration, but it's also, a reasonable length film instead of being 4 hours long. Wouldn't have started it, but my wife loves dogs, so I would probably continue this way versus dog ownership. Well, that's fair. You ever get any repeat dogs? Oh, good, Charlie's coming back. Their owners are leaving again. I don't think I saw a single person in Spain pick up after a dog. Which, when we were kids, well, I didn't grow up with dogs. Nobody picked up a dog's poop. You just wouldn't let the dog poop there. Like, the dog's getting ready to pop a squat. Like, dude, we're going to walk over here. Like, go out of the way kind of thing. Not just, drop nuggets in the middle of the street. Because dog shit is a terrible smell. It smells almost as bad as marijuana. I'm going to say something I just noticed. And I probably should have said it to my family when we were in Spain. There's a lot of people in Spain that smoke cigarettes. A lot. I'd say, let me not exaggerate. Hardly anybody smokes in the States anymore. On the street, maybe at a construction site they do, but I'd say, gosh, half the people in Spain are smoking. And I don't like the small cigarettes. But they smell better than they do in the States. And that sounds strange, but it didn't smell as bad. You put less shit in them than they do here. I don't know. It's almost repeat dogs at this point. Maybe we add 1 or 2 new dogs a year, so we know them really well. I wonder if the dogs like you guys better than the owners. I'm sure at least one of those dogs likes you better than the owners. Heck, they might have an owner who doesn't take them for a walk or anything. Which for me is the only purpose I could see to having a dog. It forces you to go outside for a walk. Like I welcomed all the walking that we did in Spain. That was one of the good things. Now it also helped that all the weather we was in was walking conducive. Like I felt great being outside. Temperature was great. I didn't see a single person picking up after a dog. There was one of the evenings I went to dinner and I wasn't feeling well, as I started feeling worse than anybody else earlier. Towards the end of the trip, anyways. So I walked back to the hotel at night. I was like 9:30 or something like that. And that's the other thing is people are walking the streets. People are walking the streets. That sounds wrong. People are walking in the streets in Spain, and all the alleyways and everything are really well illuminated. Like really well illuminated. It's like there's not a dark alley. So I'm walking down the street. And there's a couple dogs that are just hanging out, and I like loose dogs because they don't ever want to mess with anybody. They're not aggressive. They just kind of, you know, they're on their travels. It's like you caught part of a Benji movie, right? They're just traveling around from point A to point B. It was a white one and a black one, mid to large size dogs, and they're just sniffing around this alleyway, just kind of minding their own business. Kind of makes me happy seeing them. I don't know. I don't like seeing homeless people, but I don't mind seeing homeless dogs, I guess. Anyways, they were just putzing around down an alleyway. They didn't want to mess with you. They didn't want to sniff with you. They had their fill of sniffing people. They got nothing to defend. They're just chill, you know? They're about the size of German Shepherds, too, those two dogs. And we are cheaper than one of those dog low hotel places with cages. Those seem terrible. Yeah. So, an interesting thing happened in Spain that I haven't talked about yet. I didn't realize it after I had gone to the Alhambra. And there's a couple of cities that I went to that looked very dumpy. There'd be this alleyway and there'd be this street, and the people who live on this street, and the outside of these houses almost look like third world country houses. And then you look in and it'd be like a little boutique hotel, right? But on the outside, it looked like it needed some paint. It needed some TLC. You turn the corner and this beautiful hotel with this beautiful courtyard. And I guess that's a thing. I'm going to blame it on having the Muslim influence in Spain. When we were visiting the Alhambra, our tour guide was basically saying that in the Muslim custom there is you have pretty things for yourself, but you present a facade that's not embellished. So in other words, you have a house that looks like a dump on the outside. On the inside, it looks nice. So in other words, you're dressing things up for yourself, not for anybody else. And I thought that was interesting, and it really didn't hit home until I saw many of these hotels that were in what looked like a really rough part of town on the outside, and that just wasn't the case. And I thought that was kind of interesting. That's kind of the opposite of what people here do in the United States. Like they'll drive a expensive Mercedes and then live in a trailer. And it's kind of the opposite. Present the other way around. I thought that was interesting. I didn't know that. What's left to do on the Humbers? Um, I got to decide if that's all I want to do to them. The analysis paralysis. Seal them. They all have numbers on them. This guy's got a weird helmet, like it's sitting on the top of his head. As my daughter would say, that's a derpy looking dude. Derp, derp, derp. Keep hearing stuff and I don't know if I'm imagining it. I woke up with both of my ears semi clogged, which is funny because like I've been getting better and better and better every day. The cough is less and less, and I woke up this morning and my ears are both like plugged. I think I am going to continue with the Commonwealth guys though. I'm gonna let this primer set for a couple days. Go back to painting some of the black guys that I have, the black primer guys that I have from the ones that you sent me. And then roll into these guys till I get tired of painting men with tin hats. The bagpiper. And Colonel Waddington. Where the hell's Waddington at? Gonna do the bagpiper? I am. He who likes to blow. Mainly for the tartan. I better make sure I put the right clan on there. I'll probably paint one guy for Europe and one guy for Africa. I mean, the only difference is this guy's got his sleeves rolled up. So it got hot enough in Normandy for him to roll his sleeves up. I think I read somewhere that they didn't use a kilt in Normandy. Well, this guy will. Sue me. I have one from the Ravel set that I want to paint, but that's summer work for me. Yeah, you got to keep yourself on a. That's right. That's the Scottish infantry set, isn't it? That one looks pretty good too. I would have picked that up if they had it. Not that I need it, but I got enough to work on. Those figures look like they're a little smaller than these Eschi sculpts. These Eschi sculpts seem like they're a little on the large side. This guy ate some extra beans and toast. And I hope these figures are durable enough, like the paint doesn't flake off of them, because that'd be really disappointing. I am going to treat them very carefully, anyways, but. This is a weird pose. Like, I've fallen on one knee and I can't get up. Silly man. There's a lot going on in Jacksonville this weekend. There's like 3 things. But we're just going to stay put. There's a small game convention, which I didn't find out about it until 3 days ago or something like that. There's a model show from the Plastic Model Club. Which the only reason to go to that would be to go to vendors. I don't need to buy anything. I got enough. I got enough going on here. I got enough stuff that I need to paint that I want to paint. Don't need more. Never been one of those. I'm not really interested in competing. I'm not interested in being judged. I got lots of awards. I don't have any of them up in this room, and I don't really care. Not that important to me. Your current batch of winter Germans you're painting, almost all Caesar figures from 3 different sets. They have some great detail. I've never had an issue with the paint peeling off. Okay, what are you priming with? You priming with this stuff, or are you using a different primer? Well, we're not going to paint Colonel Waddington until Waddington shows up. He's still stuck in the tube or something. Didn't get a chance to ride the tube in the UK. I don't feel like I missed anything. It was funny because like 1 week before we got there had been this big announcement. That was, I think it was on a Sunday or something like that. The Sunday before we got there was going to be like a pan. It was like a protest. I don't know if it was a protest idea, but don't wear any pants on the tube kind of thing. Like if I'm riding the public subway, having less layers of clothes on the part of you that's sitting down is probably not a good idea. Just from, germs and funk and stuff. I don't really espouse those contrarian type of things anyways. You prime with black craft paint. Okay, well then this should work fine. So far, the part I hate the least about the most about plastic figures, and I don't hate much, is cleaning up the flash. It's almost nerve wracking. But it's got to be done, and it's going to be really weird. A couple of these figures, I've noticed, they'll have the line through the middle of the face. I'm like, how the hell am I going to clean that up? What's particularly good on the plastic figures is the hands. The hands and the figures, if they're like open or whatever, a lot of detail on that. But the guns on the Caesar figures are definitely more spindly than these guns. These are, they may bend, but they're in the correct pose if you don't mess with them. They're not mangled. They're erect, straightened out. as long as we paint these Tommies, we're good. Yeah, let's just keep rolling on the Tommies. I got their paint scheme good. The good guys. You can't say one side is good or not. I can. Maybe you can't. I don't say that on the Eastern Front, though. The good guys. Nope. There's no good guys out there. Yeah, even this guy with the bayonet that's up here, the bayonet is perfectly straight. And the Airfix stuff, I saw one of those places that had Airfix models. They're cheaper on Amazon. Which, the Airfix models have too many pieces, to be honest with you. It's just a kind of a waste of time. Some of them, I guess. Some of them have too many pieces. There's some kind of officer with his Webley out. got a watch on. Huh. These parts that protrude are going to be the ones that are going to get worn out, if anything else. A little revolver. That sort of thing. Looks okay after I coated them, but we'll let these guys set for a couple days. Yeah, this set's okay looking. The Africa Core set's weird. The Africa Core reissue from Esche is weird. Like I said, it's got that one guy, it's like he's shoveling his rifle. He's got like, you know, weird poses. I've got some Esche figures that are weird. I've got some regular British infantry. I've got the Japanese, the SS set. Who else? Russians. And some figures are okay, and some figures are like, why'd they make him look in that pose? Painted some washer figures. Kind of like a license. Kind of like a license plate. No. You didn't go and do research and find out that the face was the right color? Another NCO. How many do we got? Just two? Three? Three. Three guys with Tommy guns. No, I don't mind using repeat figures if I have to. Let's paint them all individually. Then this guy's a bit heroic looking. Doesn't look like much of a desk jockey. But some of these Esche sculpt figures, I noticed that the clothes almost have too many wrinkles. You know what I'm talking about. It just looks like it's, you know, thrown into a ball in a corner. And then it was time to put it on. Hey, Francois. Francois Marion. A lot of graffiti in Spain. I wasn't expecting that. Looking forward to the weekend. Yeah, no kidding. I could use a break. We got a lot of stuff to do around here. We still got to put away Christmas. Well, we didn't put it away before our trip, so we got that to do. Yeah, we were gone right after it, so. It's a nice figure. I like these straps on the rifles that dangle down. They add another dimension to it. There's another one of these slackers that has his pant legs over his boots. You got the Rommel figure to paint too. He's floating around here somewhere. A foxy dude. box of MG ammo. Actually, a really nice figure. Those German machine guns are definitely thirsty. All right, it's going to be time